Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. All eyes on Oscar, of course. It has weakened because it's over land, just what we talked about yesterday, especially over some of the higher terrain of our friends in eastern Cuba. Now, this is not going to come to Haiti, although we'll get some gustier winds at times, higher seas, and we could see some showers and storms. So this is more moving up toward Long Island, Crooked Island as we work through parts of the Bahamas. It's not in the same form as yesterday. Again, it is weaker. Winds right now at about 50 miles per hour, 80 kilometers an hour right here, and it's now making its turn, kind of almost turning around as a whole, and it'll shoot through parts of the Bahamas, then lose its tropical characteristics as it makes its way up toward Bermuda. So you see it here today starting to pull away as it finishes its turn near Cuba and then working through parts of the Bahamas and then lifting up as we work our way, especially into Wednesday, by that point near Bermuda, but at that point not tropical. It's going to lose its tropical characteristics. It's going to really get tied into a front. It'll move up near Bermuda with some tropical storm wind gusts, though, and then eventually parts of eastern Canada, which I'll cover in just a moment. And I want to show you the wind field on this. But still, those advisories out. We have those tropical storm warnings out, especially for parts of eastern Cuba, parts of the Bahamas, and we're going to get those gustier winds. Central, southern Bahamas, no doubt, will have some stronger winds. Nothing as a whole we can't handle. As I mentioned, it did substantially weaken, but it is now making its turn, kind of turning around, and then will make its way Wednesday, still as about a tropical storm, at least early Wednesday, and then lose its tropical characteristics and then head toward Bermuda. So why is it making this big kind of a turnaround? Well, it's because of a front. This time of year, we have those bigger fall fronts that move through the U.S., and this one is going to kind of grab it and help steer it. High pressure moves away. A front comes in, so it gives it that alleyway to kind of make its way up right in between that front and that area of high pressure. So I like to show you not just where things are going to go, but also why, give you the heads up on everything I'm seeing out there. Now, this has been a small hurricane. Now, small hurricanes can be rough. Of course, now it is a tropical storm. It's been downgraded, but it started as a small hurricane. That red shading in there, those hurricane winds. The orange shading in here, those are tropical storm winds. It has now lost its hurricane force wind, so now a tropical storm, very compact, very small, one of the tiniest I've seen, but either way, tiny or large, they can make an impact, and we've seen some down trees in some spots. Now, as far as the winds go, these would be the max winds, and I mentioned nothing as a whole we can't handle as we work our way through the Bahamas. Now, still today, we'll get some of those gusts in eastern Cuba, 60 miles per hour or about 95 kilometers an hour. And then as this works its way through the Bahamas, we're looking at winds of about 50 miles per hour or 80 kilometers an hour. Northern Bahamas, get over toward New Providence, for example, this is going to be staying to the south. Most of it will be staying down to the south. And fortunately, this will not sit in place. It is not a Dorian. It's not as strong, and it's not going to stall out. This thing is going to move. You see it making its move, and then it will be near Bermuda by midweek, and then very close to the Atlantic region of Canada, what's left of it, as it gets tied into a front down the road. This is by about Thursday into Thursday night. Newfoundland, a better chance of some higher winds and some, at least some coastal flooding with this as this moves in. Now, still a tropical storm now. This is a day out. This is the same thing as those squiggly lines I just showed you. But this is showing the strength of those lines. Those lines always look a little bit scarier when something's coming at you, but I like to show you, well, how strong is it going to be, or how weak is it going to be? Well, over the next 24 hours, this is generally going to hold tropical storm strength. 2 days out, still tropical storm strength, and then the models kind of get all over the place because it is going to eventually weaken and lose its tropical characteristics as a front kind of gathers this up. So what does this mean specifically? Bermuda, we're in monitor mode. This isn't going to be anything we can't handle. We are going to get some gustier winds, 50 miles per hour, 80 kilometers an hour on Wednesday. As this moves in, we're going to get a lot of rain, but generally a fast mover. So, of course, watching us in Bermuda, and then we get down the road, Atlantic region of Canada, still from Nova Scotia back toward Newfoundland, we are in monitor mode. For the most part, everything shifted a little bit more to the east. We're going to see a front sweeping in. So, in particular, all of us will get the higher seas, but Newfoundland, that's where we could have some of the gustier winds and that flood threat later this week. Watching on Thursday, the front is going to combine with a remnants at this point of Oscar and kind of work up. So let me show you that out on time. So you can see here, right back through here. Here's Haiti, here's Cuba. This is later today, making that turnaround, and you see the rain kind of moving through it. I mentioned the northern Bahamas. Look in the northern Bahamas. This is all generally staying to the south. Still some additional rain. Turks and Caicos, where this all started just a couple of days ago. This is by the time we get into tomorrow morning. Still some tropical storm conditions tomorrow morning. Then as we go through the day tomorrow, it starts to pull away. And you look at this map, and it doesn't even look like a tropical storm at this point by later on Tuesday, later tomorrow, because it gets tied into the front, kind of gets elongated. It all gets stretched out. It's not that circle with an eye or anything like that. It starts to get stretched out. So let me stretch out the map for you and show you what we're seeing. This is by Tuesday. Here's Bermuda. This is by Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. So as we get our way into tomorrow, and then by Wednesday morning, that's when we'll, even tomorrow night, but Wednesday morning in particular, some of the gustier winds, heavier rain through the day on Wednesday, and then all of this lifts in. But what is steering this? Look at that front back toward Quebec, even some snow back behind it. This is the front right here that is starting to press in, kind of helping to grab it, steer it, and then you see as we work our way into Thursday, most of the action is off to the east of New Brunswick, off to the east of Prince Edward Island, just kind of skirting by Nova Scotia, but Newfoundland as we work our way into Thursday, especially eastern sections, that's where we could get some gustier winds and watching the rain. And then yet again on Friday, another front's going to be working its way back toward Quebec. So as far as the winds go, kind of that tiny pocket, the white shading you're seeing in here, those would be winds of 80 kilometers an hour or 50 miles per hour. I have both units of measurement on there to let you know. I want to keep everyone safe. That's why I do this channel. So you see here again those gustier winds rolling right through Long Island, for example, as we work our way into tonight and tomorrow morning. Winds roughly around 50, maybe 60 miles per hour. Some of those gust around, and then this area starts to work our way as we work our way into later tomorrow. And then this here is by the time we get into Wednesday morning. Still some of the elevated seas, but things are going to start to settle down. So Wednesday morning, stretching things out again. Here we are in Bermuda. You see the gustier winds moving in, that white shading there, where we could get some of the gust of 50 miles per hour or 80 kilometers an hour. Not really sustained gust, tied in with some of that rain. You know the routine. Do it a lot in Bermuda, and then this just kind of works its way up toward the Atlantic region of Canada. Some of those red showing up there, winds in the open waters of the Atlantic around 70 miles per hour. Still some close to hurricane force winds. Now, the onshore flow looks to be Newfoundland. That's why I'm a little more concerned about some of the overwash or coastal flooding. Of course, depends on the terrain exactly where you are offshore as we work our way into Nova Scotia. But nonetheless, Thursday into Friday, we'll have some of those gustier winds, especially right along the immediate coastline. So here it is right there. There is Oscar, a tropical storm. Look at that blob right there. I've been watching us in Barbados, Trinidad, all off to the east as of now. This is not organized, but no, I'm watching this. Now, part of this is going to break apart because as Oscar kind of lifts through here, it does actually draw some of the moisture in. But point being, for us across the Eastern Caribbean, we're going to stay unsettled. Grenada, St. Lucia, Dominica. I'll break down the forecast for us. And then this out here, some of the remnants of Nadine getting tied into another area of low pressure back to the west of us. So you can see a few spots. This is Oscar. This is later today. Watching that, of course. There's a system that is not a named system, but watching out for some additional rain just to the east of us in the Eastern Caribbean. And then this here, the remnants of Nadine getting tied into another little developing area of low pressure. And this should become a named system. As of now, it looks like it did kind of lose its full circulation. So it should be a new name system. On the eastern Pacific side, it'll grab a different name. It won't keep Nadine because it lost its circulation. But tomorrow, what's left of Oscar kind of scraping through, and then there's that unsettled weather. So St. Lucia, Guadeloupe, we're looking at a better chance of some rain and storms at times tomorrow, and then there's that spot developing. Now for our friends in Mexico, it doesn't look like this is going to hook in. As this area just develops, it's going to be working our way. You see on Wednesday, that continues to pull away from land, so that is good news there. There's some of the additional rain back toward Bermuda, across the Caribbean, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, some scattered showers and storms all the way down through Trinidad, and there's that spot on the Eastern Pacific that should become a tropical storm and maybe eventually a hurricane as that moves away from land. So this here is on Wednesday. Really active pattern, just continuing. I brought out this map to show you the seas. Here's meters, here's feet, and look how things really, as this, what's left of Oscar will really get tied into the front. Look how those seas really build. Gulf of Mexico looking good. Much of the Caribbean, okay. Atlantic facing waters, though, that's where we have some of the issues. But those seas really building as we work our way into Thursday and Friday across parts of the North Atlantic. That's why I'm concerned about some of that flooding as well. But those seas will be a mess, as is sometimes typical this time of year with those bigger fall fronts moving in. So Nadine, again, that the circulation fell apart, but the remnants, some of the rain, have drifted into parts of the Pacific. Oscar is what we're dealing with now, Tropical Storm Oscar. The next name on the list is Patty. If we do get another named storm, I do believe there'll be at least a couple more named storms as we continue forward through October into November. End of the hurricane season's at the end of November. It does look like the Caribbean is going to kind of be the hot spot for the potential of some development, and I'll monitor that. I've been looking at some long-term stuff behind the scenes. But as far as the rain is concerned, still some spots, some of this, even some of the yellows popping up just because as it's kind of turned around, it's been hanging out in eastern Cuba. So some of the totals around 200 millimeters of rain or 8 inches of rain. We could see that just as it kind of right over toward Long Island, just as it moves its way through parts of the Bahamas there. But this is not coming to us in Jamaica. It's not coming to us in the Cayman Islands. It is making that turn. But I mentioned the north side of Haiti. We could get some additional scattered showers and storms. And of course, again, across the Turks and Caicos, hit or miss Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, but it's staying active. Ceiba, Statia, we could get a couple showers over toward St. Martin, back towards St. Croix. And then you see St. Lucia, Barbados. That moisture I was showing offshore down through Trinidad could give some of us 50 millimeters of rain or 2 inches of rain over the next 3 days. No washout, but very unsettled as we go throughout the week ahead. And that includes parts of northeastern Venezuela, northern sections of Guyana, not as much as we work our way into Suriname. And still watching out for some of these areas of rain and storms across Central America. So Belize, over the next few days, we could see some spots over 75 millimeters of rain or 3 inches of rain. Same thing Costa Rica, back through Panama. Not quite as much Honduras, Nicaragua, Guatemala, and El Salvador. Little stormy around Mexico City. To the north, especially over toward the Gulf side Bay of Campeche, we'll see a better chance of some of the rain. So for us in Jamaica, Oscar's not headed our way. 40 to 50% chance of scattered showers and storms the next few days. Cayman Islands, rain chance down, about a 20 to 30% chance. But you see tomorrow and Wednesday, what I was talking about, the unsettled pattern, Trinidad and Tobago, we have a 50% chance. And look at the rain chance tomorrow in Barbados. We're bumping up to a 60% chance. Some of that moisture from the east starts to move in, and that will keep us at about a 40 to 50% chance as well in St. Lucia. Not all day stuff, but some scattered showers and storms. We do it again in Grenada. Today only a 20% chance, but tomorrow we bump up to about a 50% chance. In St. Vincent the Grenadines tomorrow, you see that rain chance. It's elevated, a 60% chance, 50% chance by Wednesday. Martinique, watching out for some scattered showers and storms tomorrow and Wednesday. In Dominica, we're going to do that over the next few days. We're looking at about a 50% chance of rain. And in this, still that chance of a few thunderstorms. Guadalupe, a 50% chance the next couple days. Isolated. Antigua and Barbuda, a 30% chance. 30 to 40% chance. St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, rain chance about an even 40% chance the next few days in Guila and St. Bart's. And about a 30 to 40% chance in the next couple of days, St. Martin, Ceiba, and Statia. Isolated to scattered showers and storms. Midweek, it'll start to pick up some across Puerto Rico. Not a washout, but some scattered showers and storms. We'll do that again. U.S. and British Virgin Islands, about a 30 to 40% chance as we work our way toward Tortola and St. Thomas. And of course, Bahamas, we highlighted that. Northern Bahamas were in much better shape, but central southern Bahamas watching out for some of those gustier winds and those higher seas as Oscar continues to move by. And that includes the Turks and Caicos today, where all of this did start as this starts to make its turn, and it has, and makes that big kind of turnaround. We're going to see some scattered showers and storms. Turks and Caicos, 30 to 40% chance. Dominican Republic, better chance in Haiti will be on the north side, so north of Port-au-Prince as we go throughout the day. Belize, we're looking at those scattered showers and storms, though, of 50 to 60% chance. We're unsettled. And then Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire, rain chance about 20 to 30%. Could be a little bit higher later this week with a bit more moisture around. Guyana, the northern coast, better chance of getting some of the rain, about a 30% chance in Suriname. Scattered areas of rain across Cuba, but of course all eyes on eastern Cuba as Oscar is sitting in place right now as that continues to turn up toward the Bahamas. Costa Rica, Panama, rain chance about 50 to 60%, 50% chance in Nicaragua, and we're looking at about a 50% chance of scattered showers and storms in Honduras. Rain chance has bumped up. Guatemala and El Salvador, about a 60% chance, and you see it's bumped up as well Mexico City next 2 days, 40 to 50% chance. 30 to 40% chance of some scattered showers and storms anywhere from Merida back through Cancun down through Cozumel. Northern Colombia, 30 to 40% chance. And we do that again in northern Venezuela. And of course, watching Bermuda, we're going to see that rain chance, especially tomorrow night into Wednesday on the very high side as what is left of Oscar moves through with some of those gustier winds. So Oscar is making its big turn as that thing turns around. Watching Cuba back toward the Bahamas, Bermuda, Canada down the road, and the Nadine remnants in the Pacific, which should start to redevelop today and will become a new named system out there. So busy pattern in the tropics. Thank you for getting the word out about where things are going and where things are not going to help lower some of the anxiety this time of year. So watching everything behind the scenes, I'll be going through those comments as we go throughout the day. Be safe and have a good rest of your day.